Hi, and welcome back to Musicians Edition Practice with me for Flute. I'm your teacher, Risa, and today we're working in the Rubank Intermediate Method for Flute. And today we are looking at a duet. We are looking at Laendler on page 37, and we're going to be working on part 2. Okay, so first let's take a look at our time signature. What do we have going on? 3/4. This is going to be more of a waltz. As you can even see on the top, it says waltz tempo, okay? Take a look at our key signature next. What do we have marked? It's marked with no flats or sharps, but as you can see, we have flats in the first 3 measures, and when you look further down, we have sharps marked in. So it's always good to just take quick note. All right, so let's go ahead, give this a rundown through, and we'll see what's up. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, excellent job. So this is kind of a, well, I think every duet's a fun duet, but it's what I do like the duets that kind of go together too. So if we're looking at part 1, you can see that our rhythms are the same. That also means we need to make sure that we're holding everything out as long as they should be. And that's what can make this piece complicated. I mean, it's not complicated. You just have to pay attention to your counts, particularly with this piece. Okay, so a lot of people get thrown off, say in measure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where we have that dotted half note with the tie going over into the next measure. That there is an area that can throw people off if they're not counting. Okay, it can make your waltz feeling feel more like common time because we're thinking we're holding this out for 1, 2, 3, 4. But we're not in 4. So that's just areas I know can throw people off. Anyway, we're going to break this down. So we'll first take a look at our first 4 measures, okay, because that's kind of, you know, we have the double bar there, right? And that's just breaking things up. It doesn't necessarily mean anything particular, but we'll play those first 4, okay? That's nothing too complicated. Hopefully you started in E natural. A lot of people have a tendency to start in E flat, and that's going to throw your whole thing off. So if you play E flat, just remember or mark it that it's E natural, okay? Okay, that's all that is. And we're actually playing that forte. I didn't play that forte, so we're going to go ahead and circle that in too. We might as well talk dynamics during these sections, okay? Starting off in really loud, fortissimo, okay? And then we're going to decrescendo down to mezzo forte, okay? So let's go ahead and give that section a try there. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. There we go. Let's put the metronome on just to make sure that we're being consistent, because remember, our rhythms need to all be the same. Part 1 and part 2 need to be the same. So we're going to make sure we're consistent here. Let's do this at 80. What would be more of the waltz? I hate when they write waltz. All right, we'll do this towards, we'll do it towards 80. I think that's fine. And then if you and your partner want to do faster, you guys can. Okay, you know what to do. All right, anyway, we're gonna do 80 today. So let's do this at 80. 1, 1, 2, 3. Excellent job. Okay, so now we're gonna add in this next section here. So, I mean, because that goes with the phrasing, obviously. Okay, but this next section is where a lot of people get thrown off. So let's actually just take a look at those last two measures on the top line, and line 1. Okay, so it will be 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's just what's really going to help us here, actually. Okay, so we have the dotted half note tied into the first beat of the next measure, right? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're going to tongue coming into the next one, and that's going to really help set you up where you are. Okay, so it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so except for the rest of that is slurred. So that tongue, that quick break, I think is what's going to really help you. So let's just do those two measures, okay? Let's do it with the metronome. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's going to really help. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3. All right, excellent. Now let's talk dynamics too. We're already starting in mezzo forte here, okay? And then we're going to crescendo up with those eighth notes, okay? Let's do that one more time. And make sure you're tonguing and slurring where you're supposed to. Let's add in our dynamics this time. 1, 2, 3. There we go, okay? We can make this really expressive, and that's what I want to see us do, especially with duets when we're playing with other people. We're going to make this expressive, so let's do that. All right. Let's continue on, and then we'll put it together, okay? Now looking at line 2, okay? Here it's still the same thing. You just have to pay attention to when your counts and when you come back in, okay? So just pay attention to that. Once again, it really helps if you're going to practice with your metronome. This really helps tremendously a lot for pieces like this, okay? So let's play, let's just play all of line 2. Let's go for it. We'll do it with the metronome. 1, 2, 3. All right, there we go. I didn't take too small of a breath. I didn't make it towards the end. Anywho, you can see where that really is. So we have 1, 2, 3, 1 coming in on 2 this time instead of the beat. Okay, so just mark that. However, if you're missing that, and then the following measures the same way. Okay, and then our following measures are kind of like the ones we had on top. Okay. Except for we're going to be tonguing that in staccato. And then it becomes back to the slurring like we had before. Okay? And those are the same notes, so that should actually feel pretty familiar. Okay? Now talking with our dynamics, during the staccato parts, we have the decrescendo, so we're going to get a little quieter. And then we're going to get back to being louder, okay? It is not marked if we're going all the way down to piano or forte. So normally this is just where you would kind of follow the lead of player 1, okay, and get softer as they get softer. So if they decide we're going to go to piano, keep going all the way down to piano, okay? For our sake, let's do... So we'll crescendo up, say, to a forte, right? In line 1, because that doesn't state. And then maybe let's go down to mezzo piano, I think. And then we'll come back up to a forte. That's what I'm thinking. Once again, you guys don't have to do it the same way when you're actually playing with somebody. You guys can make it more drastic or less drastic, whatever you want. Okay, let's now take this from the beginning and play line 1 and line 2 with the metronome. Okay, watch your articulations and dynamics. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. All right, excellent job. Also, since we were talking a little bit about expressiveness, let's make sure we're putting vibratos on those longer notes too. Okay? All right, moving on. Line 3. Okay? The measure that always gets people off here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Measure 5. Okay? It has that moment of syncopation. So we come in on the beat 1, 1, resting on 2, coming in, and 3. Okay? This always has a tendency to throw people off. So we'll just need to pay attention. Once again, your metronome is going to help you here. And if you write your counts in, that can help too, or write your lines in where the beat lands, whatever you need to do to kind of make sure where it is supposed to be. Okay, so let's play line 3 with the metronome. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and there we go. I played the wrong, that's A sharp. Okay, so we'll go over that too. So here, I hope you did okay. I hope the metronome helped here. Okay, right? 1, rest on 2, and 3. Okay, and then we're up on a bunch of staccatos, so just make sure you keep all of those short. Okay, and then pay attention to your A sharps. Okay, I missed the second A on that measure. That is sharp, so if you missed it too, mark it in, okay? Let's go ahead and play line 3 again, okay? And the only dynamic marking we have marked is a forte, so I guess that's what we're doing. Okay, ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. There we go, much better, okay? Let's go ahead and take a look at our next line, okay? We do have a sharp in here, we have F sharp. Take note, the second F is natural. We got that natural sign in there, okay? Those are also staccatos, keep those nice and short. Then we go on to legato, it's more tied, more connected. We do have a D sharp in there, keep that in mind, okay? And then these rhythms aren't like too difficult. Just make sure you're resting on those ones for the where those rests are, okay? And then here's the second line. We have A sharp and then A natural. That's where the A natural is. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and play line 4. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Okay. Oop. Go ahead and stop metronome. All right. So once again, just make sure you're keeping those where the staccatos are marked, keeping them nice and short, and making sure you're slurring where they are. It makes a difference when you're playing this together, okay? So much of a difference between versus totally different feel, right? So just make sure we are articulating the way it is marked. Okay, and then we have one dynamic motion here. during the legato part, we're going to get a little softer, okay? So we'll just get softer. All right, let's play that again one more time. 1, 2, 3. All right, excellent job. Let's take a look at our last line here, okay? So we ended on staccato. We are still continuing to staccato. Watch our sharps and naturals. We got the F sharp, then the F natural in the same measure, okay? Then we go back to the legato, just like we had before. We got the D sharp, also got the D crescendo, okay? And then here we just get a little more relaxed. So we have just the long dotted half, and then just dee, right? Got our staccatos to long, staccatos, 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 ending it on staccatos. Okay, let's go ahead and finish this off. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Rest, rest. Okay, perfect. I don't think we need to go further into that. I think we're ready to do it from beginning to end, right? All right, let's do this. We'll play along with the metronome. Helps so much, really does. Okay, and then we'll play it as a duet. All right, ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. All right, excellent job.
This lesson is brought to you by the Musician's Edition practice book. Make goals and keep track of progress throughout the whole year. When you're done with this video lesson, don't forget to mark this practice time in your Musician's Edition practice book. Now back to the video.
Let's go ahead and do this as a duet. So you'll remain on part 2. I'll play part 1. 1, 2, 3. right, excellent job. Fun, right? Great. Okay, so make sure you take time, practice that, play it with the metronome, and start getting it without the metronome. Okay, if you have a buddy, make sure you guys are together with dynamics, articulations, slurs, all that good stuff. All right, so thank you for joining me. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know down in the comments. And while you're down there, don't forget to hit like, notify, and subscribe so you don't miss any of our practices. Coming up next week, we're going to learn part 1. All right, thanks for joining, and I'll see you guys next time.